Hello everyone, I'm Sidival, and today we continue reading World and Economica, episode 2. So, one thing, sorry in advance, I may be gonna be reading today even a little bit worse than usual. Well, maybe not, who knows. It just, I have a little uh, mm, throat pain or something. Um, I guess yesterday while I was streaming, it was colder when I realized. Um, because when I uh, stream reaction for Wild Evergarden yesterday, right on stream, my heatings died, and yeah, became cold. But I wasn't realized it became so cold what I'm actually gonna feeling a little bit ill after this. I mean, I guess let's hope Tia gonna help me to read, and it's just gonna be bad as usual, and not worse. So anyway, when did we stop? Mm, so I believe pretty much all entire stream, Haru just was remembering about and just recover his experience as a trader or something like this. He also uh, check uh, Chris records about her using I mean about money what she did by using Hagan's program, and I guess it was impressive. Um, um, but yeah, I guess wasn't anything else. I mean, Cal didn't for a while, but eventually said Chris, uh, in the end, what she is improved on the program amazingly, um, which was nice, and asked her for teaching him. Um, but besides that, yeah, it's exactly what we stop. I guess we're gonna see if we're gonna start trading now, or maybe he need a little more time to actually gather some information and figure things out. Mm, hard to say, but yeah. Anyway, so it's the next day after after actually Caro and Chris returned from Eleanor office. Is her name Eleanor? I think so. Sorry if I'm wrong. I'm, as you know, I really bad with names. Mm, mm, yeah, anyway, it's the next day. Um, so where we gonna? Yeah, let's start a little before when we stopped. Um, hmm, yes, yeah. Let's start on the start of this day. Um, I spent most of the time on my days off in my dorm room, going over my college assignments or reading. With my body like that and my lack of money, I was literally a burden on this lunar surface, which moved at 6 times the speed of Earth. So while I ate breakfast, I finished up my work for the correspondence college whose campus I had never set foot on. Then I'd access the library on my terminal, download The Wisdom of Humanity, take a seat near the window, and relax while I read until noon. After that, I ate lunch, then took a nap, read, or guest outside. So, by the way, definitely can see what his style of life really changed, because before he pretty much, well, as we can remember from first episode, he just pretty much be uh, his entire life was about trading. He didn't feel like he did anything besides that, like trading or dreaming about future. What he can achieve with trading. Hmm. So and yeah, I believe before I was questioning how he can be working with Eleanor and go to the college, but I guess fact what he didn't need to go to college itself and can I guess learn online or something. It's probably make things much easier for him and saving time. And besides, Chris also going to the college, so it should be possible. Hmm. Now I think about this. I'm not gonna be surprised if kid what they meet also going to school. So it's kind of being like this work is uh, a part time for them, despite them using a lot of money, like really a lot of money. um. Hmm. Okay, let's continue. After that, I ate lunch, then took a nap, read or gaze outside. Given the poor housing situation on the lower surface, you could not accept anything from a dorm room lent by the public office. However, I didn't hate the view from my room. I mean, is the room kinda good? I mean, okay, it, if so, it's not gonna be a first time that we see background what looking better than it's actually in the text. Um, but yeah, this room look kinda good, and I actually believe it's bigger than my room. Yeah, not by a lot, but it's definitely bigger. um, hmm. I mean, he also has a refrigerator in his own room. I mean, he probably don't have a kitchen, or it's just in the same room. But still, having refrigerator is really convenient. Probably. Mm, anyway, just under my window, there was a waterway, twisting and turning, surrounded on both sides by shabby buildings and houses, making the whole thing look like a motor stream. The space above the water was open all the same, making me feel as if I could just soar through it. There, there were a neighborhood ferrymen with gondola-like ships, using the waterway as a transportation route, taking people and luggage back and forth. I rested my elbow on the window sill, chin in my palm, gazing down on the lives of the lower class on the lower surface. What I thought about wasn't my school subject or anything like that. What filled my mind was the day before, me staying late into the night speaking with Chris, only finally leaving after being kicked out by Lisa. Hmm, so it's similar how he was with Hagana. Probabil- Probability theory, differential calculus, number theory, also the four basic arithmetic operations, which anyone could do. What was basically all the tools Chris had used, all of which could be found in textbooks of moderate difficulty. Yet Chris was able to piece put together to further improve Hagan's program, which had translated my decision-making process into mathematical formulas. She said that the original data was my investing data left by Hagan. Hmm. So, kinda interesting. So, I guess Haru now understands much more than he was understanding before. I mean, makes sense. he is learning right now. Hmm. When I when I told her how impressed I was that she was able to replicate my speculations without even talking to me, she slumped forward, clutching her knees as if she was holding back from going to the bathroom, and cracked a smile. It seemed that she had seen a lot of data, and apparently she had seen it over and over. She concluded that it was just a matter of trying to find the patterns amongst these timbers, flickering seemingly randomly like white noise, and then determined how they matched the market. Contrary to her usual unanxious attitude, her intonation was assertive and her sentences were well organized. She appeared like a well-oiled, a tremendous amount of pocket change from the market with unparalleled accuracy. Honestly, I found it refreshing. I feared that as Hagal program advanced in accuracy, I would then no longer be necessary. And now this program had turned my worries into reality. It would tirelessly search for information related to the stocks and markets, which it would use for basis to make decisions, and was able to process thousands of brand analyses in the blink of an eye. Its response time was a tenth of a second, able to process more than 1,000 trades simultaneously, without any exhaustion, boredom, or apprehension. I serenely gazed down at the flowing river and thought, if that's the case, then what will be left for me to do? After all, everything I could do was being done by Chris' program with top accuracy. Hmm, I mean, it is, but after all, I will. Even if Barton was a bad person, he was talking with Carol before about this stuff, and he actually shown what even without this, there is still going to be, there is still more things that we can be done. Hmm. Because it was as if at some point during the 4 years I slumbered, a perfect hour me had come into existence. I couldn't be awake 24 hours a day, nor was there anything I could do with mathematics which would surpass Chris' mastery. And yet, I didn't feel the same fear and irritation I had when Hagana was developing the program. I wondered why myself, but I didn't understand. Thinking about it rationally, improving Chris' program would mean surpassing the me from 4 years ago. I had thought it would be impossible for me to do so as I was now, so that made me feel rather optimistic. Hmm, what did he mean optimistic? Is he just thinking about became better or something? Or maybe it was because I had slept for 4 years straight and I was still half asleep. But something about that didn't sit well with me, and that annoyed me a little bit. It was probably because I wasn't betting my own money. After gazing at the outside scenery from my room for a while, I slowly grabbed my coat and stood up. Chris had said that the office was open even on weekends. Hmm. If I put myself there, then I might be able to recall that attention from the old days. As I thought about that, I inwardly smiled bitterly upon realizing that I hadn't even wanted to recall that tension in a long while and left my dorm. Cars then become synonymous with height and luxury, much like how luxury you flat glass. Yet, as Lunar City continuously expanded, what we were left with were either boats on the waterways or rail cars. I couldn't understand why tourists were surprised at it being like their own cities a century prior, because I'd seen similar scenery in movies. Hmm. Thus, my mode of transportation shifted from waterway to rail car, went back to waterway, then to my Newton City train, and then ended with me on foot. Finally, I boarded an elevator, like descending to my secret base, delving into the center of the moon. I thought it was Saturday. Everyone besides Eleanor was there. Good morning. They first greeted me was Marco as he was cleaning the front door. Seeing him here cleaning so apparently early in the morning, instead of spending his day off from school with his friends, made me feel that he really was part of this industry, or that he just really loved Eleanor. Hmm? Morning. Good morning. After returning Legov's starchy greeting, I shrugged at Chris as she appeared a little bashful. I leaned on my crutch towards the desk that was probably mine since it was straightened up quite nicely. Then I threw over these words to Marco, who was across from me. The lady of the house? When I did, Legov, with only desk at the window away from the rest, spoke as if to rebuke me. Madame is currently out. I see. Seems she wasn't the type who couldn't rise from her canopy bed because of low blood pressure. Do you have a matter that needs attending to? One business-related matter. Allow me then. How much capital will I be in charge of handling? I spoke softly, just as they'd expected me to. I already have instructions from Madame. 300,000 moons for starters. A seventh of Chris. It wasn't the amount used to gauge the availability of the program using past market data, so I felt it was a fair amount. It was frightening that I felt no strong emotions and only thought, 300,000 moons. I guess if it wasn't money that felt like it was my own flesh and blood, and I wouldn't feel that intensity like I did back then. When you're able to show profits, when it be raised gradually. Anything else? This is quite a personal question, actually. If it concerns Madame private life, then I cannot answer. No, I was wondering what kind of investing Eleanor does. Madame does not invest. What? However, she is in a daily struggle to expand this institution. What those affairs entail does not please Madame, so I shall not comment thereon. As well, both Chris and Marco are aware of this, and feel the same. If you must know, then please ask Madame directly. When I turned my gaze to Chris and Marco, they both lowered their heads, as thought apologetic for how things were. Understood. Then would this then be my desk? Yes, please set your own terminal password. My password. So I nodded and took my seat. Also, should the trade details be reported daily, weekly? Nikov answered this question. All company trade transactions shall be done on these terminals. The company is not responsible for any investing you do with your own money, on your own time. Thus, while your work attendance is at your own discretion, you are required to be here to perform transactions. Naturally, only in case such as Mr. Chris and her fully automatic trading program is there as an exception. Meaningful transaction data is constantly monitored. Does this displease you? It was spoken with intimidating air, but I just shrugged my shoulders slightly. No, I'm rather relieved that when a catastrophic mistake occurs, it doesn't end up as all falling on one person. I see. By which you mean you're already experienced that sort of catastrophic mistake. Oh, interesting. If they don't know his story. I mean, okay, I believe Chris actually told it. But maybe he told it only for Eleanor? Yeah, it was a blunder that a single person couldn't handle on his own. I could tell Chris was looking worriedly in my direction when I answered. I was composed enough to glance at her and tilt my head a bit out. I feel that it's more of a plus to be able to share the blame than holding all the glory. Success is difficult, after all, and failure is too easy. It appears I needn't argue this point. Wonderful. His face was stern and serious, but with probably Legov's way of joking. As I turned on the terminal, I spoke briefly. Risk and return. An everlasting problem. As I glanced at Legov, I got the feeling that this would end up being quite an entertaining workplace. Noon came, and Legov offered Chinese. Marco prepared the tableware, and everyone ate from large plates. Afterwards, Chris and Marco washed the tableware in the shared kitchen net outside of our office. They returned with a set of black tea and coffee on a tray. Legov measured out the tea at his desk and poured in hot water, using his pocket watch to gauge the time. Marco and Chris took coffee. Chris with sugar, Marco with both milk and sugar. Marco appeared to be doing homework as he took sips. Chris appeared to be looking at something college-related on her terminal as he tossed homework questions over to her. I had been thinking about my investing methods during all this, but it felt like I was going to forget that I was amidst an ambitious collection of money makers on Schrodinger Street. When someone other than Chris would want to pop in on days off, if they could make money in such an idyllically calm and peaceful place. However, the mood in this place was the exact opposite of what I was seeking. I looked through Chris' data and market data, trying to search within myself and give shape to that feeling of unrest, but all I could create were yawns. When the afternoon rolled around, Legov and Marco began doing even more work. From what I could overhear of his phone conversation, Legov would get calls such as investment bank trying to persuade us to subcontract to them for trading execution, or sales proposal from someone who had a bunch of stocks on sale and who could sell them cheap if it was after hours trading. Marco received calls to pay for our office furnishing, as well as some realtors asking whatever we were planning to move our office somewhere else. Anyway, most of these calls seemed to have been promotional. I thought offhandedly that the loan service really was in a running boil. Compared to the norm 4 years ago, there was an immense number of stocks rapidly swelling, and we feel what I glancing over. Stocks that doubled in a few months were pretty common occurrence, and at the extremes there were some that had tripled or quadrupled within a month. And top it off, whose companies' finances couldn't be called stable by any stretch of the word. Their capital expenditure had a desperate vibe to it, and the amount of money involved in the said investments was downright insane. There were quite a few companies that basically looked like they were saying, "We'll pay you, so please buy our products." When you looked at any of whose companies, compares they were, without exception, standing strong. Audaciously standing there were Lord of Moon and the defying conversation wisdom from Earth. Wait, what? Let me read again for myself. Because I lost the DAO. Okay. Let's say they were applying brand new, rising technologies impossible on Earth to dramatically improve their efficiency, or stuff like how every builder would soon need to use their patented products to cope with the rapid influx of buildings being built. Actually, quite a few of those big talking companies had the succeed to back it up, and it appeared they would be succeeded from here on out. What was frightening was the normally unthinkable amount of money they were borrowing, which they were sinking into advertisement and corporate expansion. I understood full well that you must take the risk for returns. In that sense, you could say they were right. But my negative response to this risk, which I could only see as recklessness, made me think I must be getting old. Or was it just that I was stained with feelings of failure? Hmm, I mean, okay, to be honest, I'm not sure if when a lot of companies in one moment are trying to expand and especially like rapidly expanding, I'm not sure if it's a good thing. Like, mm, I mean, it's hard to say, but just I don't know. It just okay. I don't really watch news or uh, stuff with money, so I might be wrong. But for some reason, I feel like even if they expanding right now, there is still a really big risk what they just gonna overexpand and everything gonna collapse. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but mm, just I believe I heard story like this before. I mean, okay, like one of the thing what I hear on the news actually, it's like when it was COVID, a lot of companies actually hire more workers, especially like gaming industries and like this, what getting a lot of success in this time. And right now, in past years, they actually start to fire these people because eventually they can't continue doing this as well as they was before. So while they not collapsing exactly, they are definitely shrinking from what they did before. Mm. But yeah, anyway, I guess it's kind of hard to judge. Um, okay. The phone rang occasionally. If the golf owner Marco taking it, Chris remained glad to the her display, sometimes looking down at the terminal in her hand, showing some sort of formula. I was wondering how they could not feel anything strange with the state of the market, being as they were inside it. It felt like I was the only one not moving at the same speed, and it left me with a sensation similar to isolation. One of my few reliefs was that when I used Chris' program to test any of the rapidly growing brands, it wasn't able to make use of them efficiently. In other words, and 4 years ago, when I was deeply immersed in the market and more quirky in my decision than anyone, I would have outright missed such companies. Yet, the stock prices were breaking through the lower down at their feverish pace. What did Chris think about this? I mean, he can just ask. Thinking that, I had reconsidered. No, rather, I was reconsidering the old meme that had been used as the basis for Chris' program. Hmm. I pulled my head out of the inorganic ocean of data when the bell chimed at 5 p.m. to mark the closing time of the market, and thought this was the weekend. Whenever I delved into the data ocean long ago, I used to remain submerged until exhausted, but it wasn't like that now. I hadn't discovered any clues, even when delving deeper. Giving a small sigh, I tapped Chris' shoulder. She hadn't seemed to notice the chim at all. Do you have some time on the way home? Huh? Chris was looking blankly at me, So I continued. I want to go look around Newton City a bit. Will you accompany me? Hmm. Chris nodded without hesitation. He scrambled to prepare to head out. Is he wanted to look on these growing companies? Because if so, we can't say he trying to do what Barton actually told him. But who knows? Well, I'm not told, but yeah, show him. Um. hmm? Lunar City was divided into several parts. Newton City and its sorry, its skyscrapers soaring height was at its heart, with the quieter residential areas of the White City surrounding. And further out was the outer district, which was actually divided into six districts. The wealth and influence of the lunar surface was centralized in Newton City. So the farther away you were, the lower your wealth and status were. The building of some of the poorest districts were covered in rust to the point that they couldn't be repainted. Hence why they were given nicknames like the Red Valley and such. However, rust led the cycle of redevelopment had been washing over the poor districts, flushing them out, so they weren't even called the Red Valley anymore. Instead, whose just out from redevelopment naturally headed to cheaper and cheaper land, whose soon after gathering in one area, they went dispersed to other areas, one after the other, like billiard balls. The news called them housing refugees, and seeing how they'd lost their homes because of economic strife, it probably was a pretty accurate term. Found at the government branch office, people chased out of their houses by Elmore as scrupulous mean. Okay, actually, I don't think I know this word. Let me check it. Um. Uh, oh, okay. Um. Acrylic. Scrupulous. Okay. Unscrupulous means that were 4 years ago guarded there seeking free legal counsel to see if anything could be done about it. This is the true face of the lunar surface, which was said to be experiencing unprecedented prosperity compared to all of the Earth's human history. I felt nothing but cold indifference at that time, but that was probably just me being too pessimistic after spending an entire day staring at the stock market. Just as people change, so did market. So both myself from 4 years ago and the me which had been slumbering for these last 4 years might be wrong. I came to the heart of Newton City because I wanted to check. A lot of people around here, as usual. There are an estimated 1 million transfer passengers here daily. The total number doesn't compare to major metropolitan areas of Europe. But we're ahead in area, population, density, because both the upper and lower levels are like this. Jump packet wouldn't be an apt description, but it was crowded enough that you could gaze shoulders with hours. It was rather like a vicious fluid advancing within the station. Of course, I couldn't keep up with the speed of the hour around me, so it felt like I was a foreign body right in the middle of that fluid. I was still leaning the way regardless, not just because Greece had a terrible sense of direction. She also seemed bad at reading the movement of hours, as I'd seen her bumping into people and getting her feet stamped on a lot. Couldn't you walk more efficiently, like a mathematician would? What this even mean? I said this as we took a breather When we reached one of the corners on the premises, we sharked like a small air pocket in this sea of people. She adjusted her shoulder back. She looked like it was about to slip off, and took off her body hat fogged glasses and cleaned them with her droopy sleeve. To, to solve an body problem, there are limits on computation, so I wouldn't need a quantum computer. But our people are making their way through without getting tangled up. When there are a lot of people, I get mixed up. I'm not criticizing you. I pushed out the corners of my mouth and made it into the shape of a smile. Just picking on you. Ugh. He smiled resentfully, saying, I'm going, and as she started off walking. My head went above the heads of the people as I chased after Chris. For whose last 4 years, I'd always been staring at the ground. That alone meant the advertising before me were new. Quite a few energy conservation advertisements. Huh? There are quite a few energy conservation ads. That's a little unexpected. Yeah, actually, didn't we hear what there is energy companies actually big right now? On some of them, the symbol of the for energy had a red traffic sign indicating a closed road painted on top of it. Then the words "and waste." I mean, what's wrong with energy waste on the moon? I think they probably use mostly solar panels, so this waste of energy is important. Mm. The words moon and conservation just didn't fit well together. Oh, that's not about conservation. We exited, we exited the station ticket gate. A lot of people seemed to have died down since we had been in a corridor of the terminal station building for a while. Chris explained it to me, walking next to me on the same side of my crutch. It's an advertisement for energy stocks. Hmm? I looked at the advertisements once again. I looked at Chris in disbelief. I laughed happily. It's to take part in personal electricity trading, buying it cheaply at the right time to make energy bills cheaper. The advertisements around here are all about Avalon. So that's what it means. The main source of electricity on the moon is solar generation, so the price and amount are fixed, but the demand is variable. Also, the entire city divides the electricity quite finely to avoid the entire city losing power. Thus, abiding by the rules of supply and demand, the prices vary locally on the lunar surface. Let's say that if the prices vary somewhere, then opportunity to invest will arise there. She always got easily flustered with speaking normally, but she could speak smoothly when it was stuff that sounded like it was written in a textbook. That was probably why she didn't seem cold or arrogant. I thought she was frighteningly intelligent. I see. What's next to it? A movie ad? The one with the locomotive? Nah, they finished the rail that's going to be running on the lower level below the bottom of this station soon. A tram will be running under Newton City. Mark would really love that. It's because there is a lot of immigrants coming in and lots of people staying here for a long period of time. Recently, classic Europe culture was being become popular. And Lisa said she wants a katatsu. Katatsu? I had one at my parents' house. They're nice. I believe in Japan they offer oranges to the katatsu, right? It didn't seem like she was joking, when she said that. Ah, yeah, that's right. And in summer, people in Japan offer grapefruits. Um? Oh, but akatatsu in summer? It was so much fun. Picking on genius who skipped grades and was attending Lunar City University. There are a lot more investment banking, banking sorry. There are a lot more investment banking advertisements than there used to be. There is a big boom right now, after all. He said that nonchalantly, affecting a similar amount of indifference. I asked, so, a bubble. Bubble? I had such a puzzled look on her face, but looked like she was about to ask, what's the matter with chewing gum? Then, when she realized I was talking about the market, she showed her usually troubled looking smile. It's an actual substance, so it's not a bubble. I don't think that the tulip bulbs from that famous Dutch tulip bubble were hologram style. Ark. His lips bent slightly, and she looked off to the side as she found it. Then Chris pondered something. She had this type of subtle charm about her, what was both solemn and innocent. Corporations are corporations are earning a lot of money every year in Lunar City, and there is a constantly increasing stream of immigrants and tourists. Money earned on Earth is invested into lunar surface infrastructures, where buildings and houses are constantly being erected. So there is now even a third city completed, and a fourth and fifth being planned. Certainly, the wildlands enthusiasm that occurred on Earth last century really ended up being a battles made up commotion, but the moon isn't like that. This baseless enthusiasm that she spoke about was caused by a legendary central banker on the Earth and described the word bubble perfectly. At that time, it was a precedented IT bubble that happened when there were leaps and bounds made in computer communication technology. As for the origin of the word bubble, it came from the crest age of the South Sea bubble, which had seen plethora of flat-out fraudulent corporations, including even Isaac Newton and leaving him broke. Sorry, fooling Kevin Isaac. Um, the stocks of the fraudulent corporation constantly set the new record heights. Ultimately, all that wealth washed with a pop, just like a soap bubble. The amount was said to be equal to 3 to 4 trillion USD at the time. It was all just enthusiastic delusion of grandeur that information technology would change the entire world. Also, I thought humanity had reached the moon, that the world hadn't changed all that much. Look, there are lots of us, to entice people to live in houses, and in the new cities, whose houses and new cities actually exist. That's true. Also, the lunar surface can start off with new technology that can be easily implemented on Earth, because this is untouched land. Our developed countries on Earth are still erecting telephone poles, and it seems there are many uncivilized territories communication using copper wires. Chris shrugged her shoulders, saying, it's just so inefficient. A few hours ago, I read an advertisement, much like that on a corporate web page. That's how the moon is able to progress faster and more efficiently than anything anywhere on Earth. Also, the economic growth you can see right before you is incredible, not unlike that you can see on the stock market. Chris, being able to make long speeches like that without stuttering made her look somewhat knowledgeable. Or maybe she was just engrossed in the contents of what she said. But undoubting face believed advance on the moon were directly linked to the future of mankind. Moving down the corridor packed with people, we arrived at the entrance to the shopping mall. It was practically a part of the station. Practically, sorry, practically part of the station. Um, the walls were covered with advertisements as usual, simulating people's desire to purchase. The amount of people walking down the path with their hands filled with stuff increased, and we began being able to pick out people wearing fur coats that were probably real. Steady development. But doesn't this rapid development on the moon look like a bubble? I think so. This is a brand new world, so it can be compared to Earth. People have lived on Earth for millions of years, so I keep it difficult even on. So I think it's difficult and for lunar-born people to keep up with that pace, both genetically and cognitively. Chris had said that with a broad grin on her face. This was even more of a lunar punk than Marco, who was a lunar-born himself, had said. She was a lunar citizen, riding the mainstream of the lunar surface, trying to head out even farther. I was gazing at the window display with a naked mannequin with some aggressive 70% off red type wrapped around it. I didn't dislike that Chris was saying. However, it did feel like something was getting in the way of letting her dive straight down into it. You seem to really hold back around Lisa, whose casually spoken words caused Chris to jerk into a smile. The smile was also slowly becoming a cringe. I had talked to Cyril about it. Ah, so that's why you're on good terms. I don't mean it negatively for Lisa, but she's just Lisa's bit too stuck in her ways. She wasn't criticizing Lisa. She was just sad that they couldn't both feel excited together. Everyone has their own likes and dislikes. When I said that, Chris looked over at me with puppy eyes. Besides, watching someone going off full speed is thrilling, since you don't know how it'll turn out, or whatever they'll fall. I have fallen a lot. We said that as she turned away, pouting. Well, if you fall, you can just go back to Lisa's place. She was kind to me, despite how awfully I fell down. Chris made a face like she herself was being hurt when I said that kind of self-deprecating thing. She'd also shown me a relieved smile when I had gotten over my spasm, probably because she admired me. But I just didn't feel confident that I could live up to that. I had been living up to it for the last 4 years. Besides, I was having trouble. I pushed up the corners of my mouth with my fingers. When I did, Chris also gave a small, trouble chuckle and seemed inside in a slow and deliberate manner. I went to your house too. That smile of yours, the one that would tell me it was alright whenever I had an episode. I shrugged my shoulders and said this. Then I guess I'll stay at the church next. What? Really? When I shrugged in response to Chris suddenly asking that, with a serious look on her face, she puffed out her cheeks and nudged me on purpose. We continued on like that until we reached the shopping area. The ceiling pressing down against our heads was suddenly gone. There was another wall on the floor above, visible just by looking up, which had aerial corridors connecting as if spanning a valley. It apparently looked just like a flowing river at the bottom of the valley. Both ends of the valley stretched out quite high upwards, leading up to a large glass ceiling. through which the muddy red long dome could be faintly seen. There was an expression, forgive the lily, and this embodied it perfectly. Um, Wait, what was it? This is the largest in Newton City? This is but one part of Clapton Square, the largest shopping mall in Newton City, and the largest shopping mall, period, and when including all shopping areas on Earth. He said confidently, turning her gaze off from the show windows of incredibly expensive boutique on either side of her. But I believe you'll be even more surprised if you go down further this way. Oh, from where we were just then, both sides were packed chock full with shops, and you just had to gaze upward to appreciate the sheer size of the buildings, going easily as high as 10 floors or even more. There were innumerable side streets, and the shops continued far into the distance. If I were to count them out, it would easily surpass thousands. I thought of that I was passed by show windows which mostly had black, gold, and silver colors patterns. I didn't know the prices, but as there was blank suited butlerish employees standing up straight at the entrance, they were most likely not cheap. Even so, those employees were seeing off quite a few customers, and it seems their business was doing quite well. What was the rent on this? The labor cost? The initial cost. As I ran through those things in my mind, I feel that as I thought I'd suddenly lost my footing. Hmm? Hmm? Then, when I realized that wasn't the case, I was overcome with a feeling similar to dizziness. After giving a soft, gentle chuckle, Chris spoke in a lively voice. This is Club Square's big hall. Mm, okay. It was an enormous hall. No, it looked more like the basin of a cascade. The structure was like a semicircular amphitheater, with, um, with a stage at its center, just like an opera or a classical concert hall, rising up the horror back you went. Here, it was done to the extreme, so that if you looked down from the reinforced glass railing above, the people at the bottom were no bigger than a specks of dust. It faded out and dipped all the way to the bottom. On the slope, there was an escalator, moving similar to the flow of a cascade. Okay, to be honest, I don't feel like this background image really showing what they saying us. I mean, maybe just hard to understand the size. I mean, we can see it's big, just okay. I don't really feel really impressed. Um, and the most impressive part of all this was atrium, which was facing this semicircular stacked mall, and what was enough to instill agoraphobia in anyone looking at it. Apparently, there are 71 above ground floors, 34 on the ground floors, 2,619 shops, 20 movie theaters, 9 hotels, 4 aquariums, and 5 grand theater halls. There are also 3 fire stations and 3 police stations, whose only jurisdiction is here. Apparently, taking a tour of the entirely of Clapton Square would take a full week. I had no words. The atrium was so large that I couldn't help but think you'd be able to see it from Earth with an astronomical telescope. The missing child staff and guide staff send messages to each other with flashlight signals. Really? Why? Is she messing with us? Because they obviously should have smartphones or something like this. See? Over there right now, there's a place alternating red and green lights. So that probably means someone lost and they need to head over there. No, that she mentioned it. On closer examination, I could indeed see faint light flashing here and there. The pale beams of light that someone shot around were probably for path guiding. Who would thought that handmade signals would be useful on the lower surface, the frontier of humanity? But with this, they didn't have to search on their terminal and rely on the 3D floor map that became more confusing the more detailed you got. Mm. After all, virtual data was confined to the virtual realm. It was easy to figure out where you needed to go after you saw it with your own eyes. It seems the concept is still that cannot be done on Earth. I did somewhat understand Chris' feeling as she recited that proudly. I couldn't utter a word. I could only contemplate that overwhelming scenery. Come, let's go. We have lots of places to see. He spoke unusually cheerfully. They began walking. She took my hand quite naturally. This place was probably the peak of the lunar surface, the world where Chris could exist and act without hesitation. Clapton Square seemed to contain about everything and anything one could ever need to live. There were truly a staggering number of stores selling clothes, jewelry, furniture, and miscellaneous goods. I thought I would find Europe tour travel agencies, but instead found a government branch office helping people looking to migrate to the new lunar cities, pet shops, a whole block filling with art galleries, selling paintings, and antique shops selling ceramics, and then a bookstore, dealing in authentic books. There was a sport gym, but seeing the people working out on the other side of the pen puzzled me. I work out here, of all places. Anyway, the one thing that they had in common was all of them bustled with customers. Not a single one appeared idle. Also, because the air conditioning here was steady unlike of the outer district, it was quite hot. As if in anticipation of that, there were fruit bars and ice cream shops scattered around. Neither Chris nor I could beat that temptation. I was just shocked that one ice cream was 15 moons. That was the cost of 2 hours of work at average part-time job in the outer district. Yet customers came one after the hour. There was just no end to it. Chris and I ended up ordering a cone with heaps of blueberry and black currant ice cream, and we both ate it with spoons. During that time, I counted how many customers came in per minute, and guessing at the approximate number of shops, estimated how immense their daily profit was. I could only give a half-hearted response when Chris spoke the words. It's quite good. A completely different word from the outer district. Here was the lunar surface I knew nothing of. Hmm. After finishing about half of the ice cream, Chris and I started walking again. My head was spinning, imagining that there was this much economic activity and there were shops no matter how far we walked. From amongst all of this, I chose to pause in front of a real estate agency. Hmm. Oh, come to think of it. How about you, Dorm? If I quit the government office, I'll need to leave. You can't come to the church. Just dragging out that joke from before. Are you thinking of renting a house around here? This has had a dubious look on her face I only see on rare occasions, as if she wanted to ask if I was out of my mind. I mean, it's probably like incredibly. Okay, we actually can even see prices, and it's like, yeah, incredibly uh, pricey. Like, from what we know, even right now, Chris only operate what, like 2 or 3 million moves from the company, and they belong to entire company. And as you can see here, like prices for the house, like starting from 4 4 million moves up to like the 13 millions, 50 millions. Yeah, like it is really expensive. I mean, it makes sense. There may be a cheap room. When I was well aware how reckless it would be to rent a house around here. Chris shrugged her shoulders to a monotone response. All of the glass window facing the street from the real estate agency were also digital tickers scrolling various office and residence. It was set up so that you can see more detailed information by pressing the ad with your finger. I just wasn't able to think about them seriously. This wasn't because of the high prices though. It was because they was mostly irrational. There were apartments with the tagline within walking distance of Central Station, but they were all two-bedroom apartment layouts with the cheapest starting at 8 million moves. The prices went higher as you looked higher on the display, and at the top, and a condominium was featured, with the price for each apartment starting at 22 million moves. What was frightening was that it was displayed in red as already sold. Also, this information may have been connected to other branches because there were fewer and fewer advertisements that were displayed with the red sold out mark the longer you watched. As it happened, there were customers looking at it were talking, saying, "Ow," and "I need to pick one quick." All of them were young couples in their late 20s or early 30s, and they didn't exactly appear to be that well off. The common knowledge I knew from 4 years ago was that a white collar middle class on the lower surface made an income ranging uh, 2 from 2 to 3 million moves in their career. On top of that tremendous influx of population on the moon, those that made lots of money rush back to the Earth, so the office workers on the lower surface shouldn't have seen much change in their income. Yet, we are looking at those 8 to 10 million moves luxury apartments, and there were even some rushing into the store with a look of panic on their faces. That caught my attention, so I peeked inside. The counters were all full, and employees were busily corresponding with their customers. Some pairs were leaving the place, probably heading off to see the houses In person. There was also information of renting, but they were mostly all tacky. There weren't many to begin with, and you couldn't find anything with rent below 5,000 moves a month. I mean, is it bad? I mean, okay, it is expensive, but okay, I wanted to say Haru can make such a money, but again, it was an old Haru. Is current Haru can make so much money? I mean, okay, even if he can kind of have 100,000 moons right now, I believe. Is this assumed Chris paid to him? But he probably want to use it for trading and making more money. Mm. Looks like real estate investing can make quite a bit. Seems incredible, actually. He's looked up at me, still bent over, pointing at the display. Luxury residential doubling and tripling in a few years seem like the norm. So industries related to real estate are just going to be soaring. But stocks aren't so hot. They've already risen to height. Doubt so. Instead, you can earn through the real estate composite prices index. Didn't show that type of complacent smile at the church. If the investing in individual buildings where anticipating a value increase was the Stone Age, then investing in real estate companies that deal with a collection of whose buildings would be the Industrial Revolution. But in the field of investments, in this day and age, things had evolved to the next stage. There was an abstract index calculated from the land value and housing prices, which indicated the trends of the real estate market as a whole, and it was impossible to invest in that index. The more sophisticated the casino, the more sophisticated the player could intelligently earn. The program using abstract algorithms Chris made was more than likely better suited for that abstract index investing sector. You're making a face you should never show to Lisa. Then I said that, Chris gasped and rubbed her face with both her hands. Hard to believe this is the same lower surface as the outer district now. As I had mentioned Lisa, I turned back to that shabby building where the church was located. Barely running electricity. Elevator indefinitely out of service, with the floors and walls destined to rot away. How much would rent be? It couldn't be that cheap. There are quite a few people that can't even live in that place. There are of course in a hurry needing to buy at the this ludicrous price after all. There's a finite space on the lower surface. There's no way for who's saying lazily from their food cars to complete in this game of King of the Hill. Even in the new city, they were sold out before they began construction work. How can they sell that well? Nobody seems to be that wealthy. Of course I whispered that into her ear. My breath must have hit her ear, because she squirmed her neck a bit as thought it tickled. Loans. That's the price is going to go up anyway. Everyone is taking out loans and buying. If you earn a high enough salary to pay the interest, then the banks appear willing to lend the money. Also, if the price goes up, then you can gain interest on your capital investment by liquidating. This is basically the option sector. A kind of financial engineering. The right to purchase a bond, not as it was, but for a set price on a future date, was what is called optioning. For example, paying 20 moons for the right to purchase a stock at 1000 moons in 3 months. You only pay 20 moons upfront. 3 months from then, the bond was 1100 moons. You paid 1000 moons to buy it. If you were to sell it on the spot, then you'd be earning 80 moons profit. This could also go down without the bond being purchased, and the difference being paid out in cash. Let us say that normally you would need to prepare 1000 moons to buy stock. But with this wonderful system, and if you didn't have the large amount of money needed to purchase stock, you could still actually bet on the stock price fluctuation. Plus, it was pretty much the same setup as only paying off the interest on the loan for a house you were expecting to increase in value. And the guys who couldn't afford houses but wanted to take part investing into them could participate and gain profits if they were able to make the interest payments. For houses such an affair, though, I was losing confidence in the fact I was lower born. I mean, hmm, you know what? There is a renovation going on. So if they need to do it, it's probably a need in houses, as we can see. Um, I look around a bit after thinking that. Suddenly, like something out of a horror movie, I realized I was based on all sides by advertisements for banks. Quite frightening. I said that, but rather than a chill, I felt a slow warming sensation in my heart. A sensation like if something I had forgotten during this 4 years prior period had finally regained some warmth within me. I felt like I had found a welling vortex amongst the darkness of that inorganic data. This was real, just like Chris said. His womb ensuring the lunar surface like a viewer was, without a doubt, the real deal. If houses sell, then so will furniture. Moving services will also be needed for us. Afforestation prospers, and of course, shortfall with the deputized over to importers. More trades increase the money surplus and guard trust as well. New housing investments are continually increasing. However, with the influx of immigrants, labor remains cheap, and there are even more buyers entering. As Chris extrapolated of what I thought aloud, she swiped the display, bringing up information on two-bedroom duplex apartment. There aren't many government restrictions similar to how Earth is, so things progress freely and efficiently. It's a company become wealthy. If a company becomes wealthy, then so do the employees. So the economy improves as they use more money. So even people without much money. The 60.5 million mall apartment Chris was looking at was sold right before her eyes. If they invest, they can surely become rich. Whose stocks are soaring? I believe there are a lot of breezes blowing. Breezes? And I questioned Chris. She moved to bite down on the ice cream. Just looking at her like that. Back then, she did really just seem like an innocent little girl. Yet, that organ birthed from that mind of hers was still reeling in large profits in a room in a building not far from here. You can fly higher into the sky, the more you spread out your arms to catch the breeze. Chris' eyes were the same as whose cold eyes she had when she started into her investing tool. Those calculative, rational, completely collective eyes of hers, able to express metaphysical concepts while omitting all attrition in reality, simply pushing sorry. One moment. I know it's word, I just forget how to pronounce. Pursuing. Yeah, simply pursuing that destination within the financial sector. I felt a chill, but it was probably because of the ice cream. No, it wasn't that. I felt a chill because having a genius like Chris, if the opportunity was given, it really felt like things could take off in an instant. What was the most amazing was that whose guys without this genius were able to earn just as much profit as long as they had the resolve to shoulder enormous debt. However, that chill was closer to excitement, that feeling of fear. I was certain I had gained a very valuable clue. It was a real sensation. There was one thing that program needed, was the emotions of those guys plunging into this real estate market. Hey, about the investing program. This looked startled when I suddenly changed the topic. The melting ice cream on her hand dripped onto her fingers, which brought her back to her senses. Then, after frantically licking it up, she laughed somewhat clumsily, with embarrassment, like the time Lisa got angry at her. I guess I was right. What? Chris spoke abruptly, looking up at me with upturned eyes. This was on location research for investing, wasn't it? So I guess she probably on some point has a doubt what it can be a date. I mean, it kinda looked like a date from the side, but they also was mostly about business. Um, Please look up at me, holding the beaten up one in her hand, because it didn't feel like we were just taking a walk. Well, it did feel like it, actually. It might have just been my imagination, but she seemed a bit down, and thought she was giving the usual troubled smile. No, that made me realize it wasn't my imagination. Was that she chowed down on the corn, as if she was trying to brush away her own feelings. But I don't hate talking about investing. I'll go whatever you want. My head itched ever so slightly for Chris, who was smiling with a strong front. We might have been on a date. She was speedy when we were leaving the office as well. Also, I was just noticing it then, but Chris changed her hairstyle a bit. She was wearing it down. It was probably when she went to the bathroom before leaving the office. Chris pretty much ended up eating the ice cream all by herself, so I was so absorbed in the city and the moment of people. Want to go see a movie? I ended up blotting that out. Chris looked a bit startled, then burst out laughing a bit. I mean, okay, understanding what the hell feeling bad, but is it like a good thing to uh, try to actually make it a date or something? Because we know what Hal still in love with Hagana, so he, at least for now, he can't actually respond to Chris' feelings. And like, isn't just make things worse. I mean, we can think what there is a chance it's gonna help Haru to actually fall to Chris, but I don't know. I mean, it just, especially in this side, what it's Haru one who is uh sorry, um simple words, simple words. I think that I'm costly for some reason forgetting. Uh, Wait. Uh, um, I guess suggest. So since it's one of who's suggesting to make it a date, it's kind of feel wrong. Like if it's from on our side, like Chris trying to actually win over Haru, then it's kind of feel better because they both will know his own feelings. So as well as Haru know what Chris has crush on him, as well as Chris actually know what Haru not over Hagana. Mm, so I don't know. I ended up blurting that out. Chris looked a bit startled, then burst out laughing a bit. You're really one of a kind. You don't need to force yourself. She wasn't as childish as she looked. I probably thought of her as a young and childlike because I was familiar with the old Chris. If you're going to see a movie, will you go to the church? Also, she spoke, she spoke secretively, as if inviting me to her secret base. There is an empty room in the church. Where she going with this? It sounds kinda suspicious. Then I'd be able to talk to you about investing all the time. Our common traits was investing, and Chris was able to go along equi- actually with me if it was about that. She'd be able to separate herself from the side of her that reacts directly to people's expression by being timid and blumbling. I took the coin from Chris' hand and I bit off about half of it. When I finally said, "Pretty good," Chris laughed it, lost for words. Then, to the church. Okay. The rest of the customers all started at Chris when she gave that energetic response. She appeared completely fine and took my hand, where normally her face would have gone a bit red and she'd shrink back. Since it's Saturday, Gerald would be there, right? Eh? There's something I want to hear him to analyze. I request for a preliminary investigation before having Chris analyze the real thing. That is that I mean to say, but Chris took my hand and looked at me with a vivid expression. If there's anything, then please tell me. It's more like a menial chore. You're earning more than a Gerald, right? Hence, it was less effective to ask Chris to do it. That's how I thought. But Chris squeezed my hand and spoke looking straight at me. I followed in the tracks of your thought process, and it brought me where I am now. Sorry. Left unspoken, so rely on me. Chris had become an undeniably bolder. Isa said that the case ground was saddening in it itself. I felt at ease, as if I understood the meaning of those words slightly then. Well, that's true, I said as I looked at Chris, who was beside me as I began walking. Also, that hairstyle suits you. When I said that, just for a moment, it was like I had flickered a switch and Chris' face went red. He wanted to laugh so badly. It felt like this iron mask of mine was going to move. Still a little feeling like Haru flirted with Chris. I mean, to be honest, with Chris actually caring about him and being quite a long time with him and helping with him, uh, helping to him, I'm not gonna be surprised if Haru actually has a little crush on Chris also. He maybe don't realize it yet, or just push it away because he thinking about Hagana also. So if so, I can think he maybe gonna realize in the end of this episode, and in the third one he actually gonna choose with whom he gonna be staying, with Hagana and Chris. Well, unfortunately, we don't have choices in this web novel, so it's not like we can choose and see both rules. So eventually, I guess we just gonna see who's Haru gonna choose. Anyway, this being Chris, she shrunk back, smelling with her hair, looking as thought she has no idea how to respond. Latin square was the spread head of the lunar surface. It was Chris, walking next to me. I thought that all the way, as I walked amongst the people, feeling the busy street. Mm. It seemed to have had an immediate effect. The first day felt just like opening tests, but on the second, third, and fourth day, today, it announced that the program had recorded plus 13 on its best day. Okay, so it is a time skip, so let's actually stop here. Like, I don't know, maybe it's gonna be a better point after this, but I'm not sure. And because I kinda want to stop. I mean, firstly because we already streamed for an hour and a half. And it's not like we can't stream more, but mostly just the more we stream, the more I'm reading, the more I actually start thinking what my throat actually hurt a little. Um, I mean, but besides that, I feel like today surprisingly was okay stream. I didn't feel like I'm stuttered a lot. Hmm, maybe I just pay me less attention. I mean, I kind of feel like sometimes I'm just a little more cautious about this. Don't know why. But today I feel like it was a good stream. Like I am okay about this. And I even was able, I mean, I don't know if it's noticeable or not, but I was changing to try to change my voice or like style of reading when I'm read different chapters. Like I was trying to read Chris softer than Haru and stuff like this. I'm not sure if it's noticeable or not. Maybe just noticeable only for me since I tried to do this. Like, obviously I'm not really good at voice acting, mostly because I never actually did it before. Um, but it feels okay, at least from my side. I'm not sure if it's actually okay or not. I guess only you can answer for this. So if you, for some reason, watching me reading it on YouTube, you can left comments. But yeah, anyway, it's all for today. And there is, I think, I'm decided I'm gonna take next week off. So there is not gonna be streams on the next week. So we're gonna continue reading World and Economica on the February 20th. I think it's pronounced not like this. Anyway, so not on the next week, but one weeks after next one. Um, anyway, I guess goodbye. Have a good time on the day.